Hello, community, and welcome to Stroke of Genius Podcast Survivor Experience. This is really a special occasion, special show. My dear sister Lynn Sanders and myself will be paying a tribute to our dearly departed dear brother still to this day, who passed away 4 years ago. So let's get into it.
Fire.
Hey, there's Lane Sanders, my dear.
Hey, Aaron.
How you
Great to
doing?
be here.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm Lynn Sanders of Difference Makers Media, where we're helping you create stories that make an impact. And Aaron and I share a very special friend together, Roland Takaoka. And today marks the 4th-year anniversary of his passing. So I spoke with Aaron before the show and said, let's pay tribute to this amazing man who touched so many lives all around the world. And so here we are.
Yeah, I don't think people know the title of this stream is The Hidden Secret Behind Stroke TV. And I'm going to tell you, audience, that Roland Takaoka really was the first person that ever made me believe I could do it. And Stroke TV was an amazing idea, and he was just head over heels, loved it, as you know, man. So it's my pleasure to be here and honor Roland, because I want to do everything again, can not to cry, but there may be a time I may cry because I miss Roland.
That's okay. It's all right to cry. And I think everyone watching this, I hope, comes away with joy and with inspiration that we all make a difference. And as Aaron said, the secret behind Stroke TV really is the power of the friendship that we both shared with a man named Roland Takaoka, who really touched our lives deeply and helped us believe in ourselves. So before Aaron had Stroke TV Media, he was mentored by Roland Takaoka. And he was also the wingman for my show, The Difference Makers.
Lynn, do you think we should play the video now, Roland, to let people get to know me before we
That's a good idea. So I would like to, before we do that, Aaron, if you don't mind, I would just like to give a little preface to this. Roland passed away very suddenly, and he had sent me his manuscript of his memoir going through the hospital experience and rehab. And he was paralyzed on his entire right side from his 3rd stroke. And yet he wrote so beautifully with one hand about his experience. And he sent me this manuscript in my computer. I never thought to ask him about publishing it. When he suddenly passed away, and we'll talk about that in the program, I knew I had to publish this story. And yet I didn't have the funds to get it all together. So I did a crowdfunding video, which Aaron wants to show you. And in that video, I included a little clip of an interview that I did with Roland, because he was so amazing. So Aaron wants you to get an experience.
I do, Lynn, but I want you to also hold up his book.
Okay, so this is the book that I self-published this on Roland's behalf. This is Roland and his wife, Barbara. I took this picture on a visit to California, and then we had a background made that looks like a rehab center. And it was originally called Adventures in Rehab, but it's a story in the hospital and rehab. So I retitled his book, Roland's Story, Inspired by a Stroke. It's a memoir of hope, healing, and transformation.
And we will put those links in the video description.
So we will put the links where you could get it on Amazon, because it's a beautiful, uplifting story about Roland's experience and his transformation in his attitude towards life. So Aaron wants you to experience Roland. So we're going to play this beautiful crowdfunding video where I was working to raise money for the book, and you'll get to hear Roland.
All right. I'll make it full screen. I'll pull up what's off the public.
There's some music under this part.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. All the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't have to know right now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things.
For me, healing is not even so much the granted wish to walk again or drive or do whatever. It's like healing is a state of mind, and if you can achieve happiness from wherever you are, that's healing. And it's so powerful to realize I don't have to fix something that I see in my body in order to be happy.
I'm in the midst of publishing a book by my dear friend Roland Takaoka, and I really need your help to get this book published. You see, this book will help stroke survivors, their families, and anyone who's challenged by physical concerns to feel good about themselves. Roland learned after being in the hospital and rehab center and afterwards that you can choose your emotion and you can choose to expand in joy, and that's just what he did. And so for Roland and on behalf of Roland's family, I would really appreciate any donation you can make. The money will go towards publishing this book, getting some publicity, and helping his family pay for medical expenses. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate anything you can do.
Remember that absolutely anything can happen. But let's take it a step further. If anything can happen, then the missing part of the equation is that you can make anything happen. If anything can happen, and that means that we all can be just as powerful as anybody. If anything can happen, that means we all have this power. And we can all decide to make a difference. We can all decide to improve. We can all decide to expand in joy. And that's what I've decided to do.
When you're out there having fun, so close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
Man, I have that terrace numerous times.
Wow. His spirit is here. I don't know if anyone can feel it. I'm getting goosebumps.
It covers more than the usual.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Oh, that's all right. You know, spirit does live on. And
it's amazing. And his energy is when it's been 4 years since he passed.
yes.
but his energy is still with me to this day.
Yes, me too. I want to share what we were talking before the program about some special memories that we have. And I wanted to share what happened after Roland passed away, just on that same day, which was to me a sign that his spirit lives on. For anyone listening who wonders about connecting with those on the other side, um, we had a very, we meaning the whole friendship community around Roland, who had his own podcast of Saturday Morning Smarties, and he would do other programs for everyone to give. I found out that he had a fourth stroke on a Tuesday, and I did my best to spread the word. Aaron was helping spread the word. On Wednesday, we did a Get Well show for Roland, knowing the power of energy, hoping that he could heal. But the very next day, on a Thursday, I found out he had passed away. And I was, that day, I happened to be filling in for my husband at his dental office, just in the front desk. And I couldn't handle my emotion. And my husband said, just, go out and take the time off. I went to a friend's house, and she had poor cell phone reception. So I wanted to go outside to call my husband to let him know I was managing. I was crying, and I was holding my cell phone in my right hand. I looked down at my left hand, and I noticed something black on my wrist. And I didn't know what it was. It didn't feel like much weight or anything. I just looked at it, and I studied it, and all of a sudden I realized it was a black butterfly with a gold stripe just sitting on my wrist. And to me, I knew it was a sign from Roland, because I was just talking about Roland to my husband, and there comes a butterfly to sit on my wrist. It's never happened before or since. And it was to me a sign that his spirit is still with us, and he was finally able to be free and not have to be confined to any one space, because he really lived life so fully that was his gift to us and others, that we can be all we want to be. We just get to choose our emotion, and we can choose to expand in joy, like you said, wherever we are. So the story that I want everyone to remember is that we can all live our lives fully like that. And it was his sign, I think, to all of us. And I wrote about that in the preface of this book, which was written before he passed away, of course. It's his story. I wrote the preface of what I experienced. And then I interviewed his wife, Barbara Peters, who I hope will listen to this afterwards, about her story with Roland. It's beautiful. And that's in the closing of this book, along with resources for stroke survivors and their families. So Roland's spirit is still here with us, even if he's not in the physical form. And I'd like you to share something too, Aaron, because you had so many wonderful experiences with him.
Well, Lynn, it's more of an emotional on this is, but probably one of the biggest things, one of there's many, and we'll get into that as we get more in the show. But Roland, like myself, was in a wheelchair, and he's a correct me. One time he corrected me, and I'll tell you how. I used to complain, and first of all, my wheelchair was a rolling person to me. And he goes, Aaron, you need to stop saying your wheelchair is a rolling person. It is your limousine. And I look back, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
Look back today. My wheelchair wasn't what I've been saying. He was right. Stroke TV media is impacting the world for good. And it became a global. And I thank Roland for giving me confidence to not think my speech wasn't bad enough. Think I was half but it was not enough. I mean, he always said, Aaron, you're enough. You're enough. You're enough. I'm here to tell you, survivors, anybody out there, You're enough. Do not let your current situation, whether physical, whether it be mental, whatever, do not let that become who you are, because you are enough. And that's something then that Roland taught me and made me realize I was enough. And
That's
that's
so
what
true.
Show TV was based on being enough.
That's so true. Because we all, I think, go through life and we look at other people. We think that, well, other people can do more and be more. And there's no reason why we can't be that way, no matter what. You know, he had the best laugh, didn't he, Aaron?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he was always smiling on one of the shows I did. And he gave me the courage because he did a lot of my tech work behind the scenes. So he just encouraged me to go out and interview anybody. And I was interviewing lots of amazing thought leaders. And in one case, usually I didn't read anything off the screen, but I wanted to get this introduction right. So I was just like you, I wanted to be enough. I was reading off the screen. I was glad I did it. And then I X'd myself out of my own program. Could you believe it? Imagine if we're here, all of a sudden we're gone. Roland was in the background and he said to the guest, "Don't worry, I'm sure Lynn will be back soon. Why don't you just introduce yourself?" So I did come back feeling really apologetic, but he just laughed and he made everything feel so light. And I think that's the important thing of how do we treat our lives? You know, do we worry ourselves to death over any little mistake, or we just laugh and think, okay, that was, an experience and we can move forward from that.
Yeah, I think you and I just heard him say in a video, anything is possible.
Right.
And if anything is possible, then you can create your possibilities. You can influence. And that's the thing. You, myself, and enroll influenced many others to believe they were enough, and they could make a difference.
That's so true. And he had a wide circle of friends. And I don't know if everyone even knew that he was paralyzed on the right side and that he was in a wheelchair, because you only saw him from the waist up, And I noticed people didn't seem to notice at all because he was always smiling. Didn't you notice that?
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know when I first met Roland.
Yeah.
I never really knew it was a wheelchair. Unlike me, I didn't know. Till he said it was a wheelchair. I said, "What?" Because he was smiling. One of
Right.
his favorite things was expanded joy to say.
Mm-hmm.
And he always said, "I'm the happiest person." What he said? What he say then?
I'm the happiest person, like what I'm in the world or something.
I mean, that's it. You realize him half affected in a wheelchair, and trust me, it's painful. Anybody that doesn't know about being in a wheelchair, it's extremely painful. But he always smiled and always looked forward, never looked back, and never felt bad for himself. It brings up a saying that I've heard: life, whether it be anybody, stroke survivor or non-stroke person, life is 10% of what happens to you.
Mm,
90% of it is how you respond.
that's so true. You know,
Is it?
I wanted to share something else that you brought up the fact that Roland was talking about expanding in joy, and people might wonder, well, how could someone be so focused on joy when he's paralyzed? And if you get this book, which is really powerful and has a lot of humor, it's very positive, even though he was writing this during the hospital stay and in the rehab. He talks about how he got transformed by a physical therapist who was there. And the physical therapist taught him or reminded him about a spiritual understanding called the law of attraction, that whatever you focus on, you attract more of. So why focus on negativity? And she really encouraged him to focus on being able to walk and being able to work on moving different parts of your body. He was able to move a little bit of his right finger at one time. And I think at the end of this book, he was even able to stand a bit. So he kept focusing on what he wanted to accomplish. And that's why he told everyone to expand and joy, because he wanted each of us to reach our optimal, fulfillment, to be at our happiest. And that was why he reminded us to focus on what we wanted. Wasn't that special?
Yeah, I think, that is so big for me because and it should be for everybody. Focus on what he always told me was focus goes, your energy flows.
Right.
So if you focus on what you can't do, what you're lacking, what you need, always you'll always be there. Because that was where your energy will flow. But then I realized that I'm still learning it. But to focus on what I can do and focus on the positive things in my life. And it's been life changing for me, Lynn. It's been life changing.
That's so true. I don't know if you want to share how you first met him, but I think that would be interesting. Why don't you share that, Aaron?
When I first met Mona Takaoka, he ran he ran a show called Marketing Smarties every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Every Saturday morning. And he ran a contest. Whoever wins this contest win a website built by him and other things. And so I remember signing up for the contest. And there were several other contestants. But then he met Stroke TV, and what it did, he fell over. He just went all in. He knew that it was something. And he awarded Stroke TV Media, or at the time, Stroke TV, I think it was a website, there was a URL, there was a bunch of stuff, but that has been, and Roland and I connected on an energy level that's way beyond physical. I didn't see Roland. I could feel him right now with us right now. So I don't need to physically touch him. I know he's here. I know he's here with me right now. I know he sees what Stroke TV is doing. And everything, Roland, that I talked about, Stroke TV is becoming now.
Yes.
It is becoming, our dreams are becoming reality.
Well, he told me that, because he told me he had this young man that he was mentoring, and he had a contest, like you said, and he said he asked people to write down why they deserved to have a free website. And so he told me he'd picked Aaron Avila, and I said, well, how many people applied? And he said, only one. Aaron was the one, except that his story was so powerful that he definitely wanted to do whatever he could for you. And that was the quality of Roland, total giving nature. Anyone who met him found that he was a giving man. In fact, I met him just because I was interviewing another person, another business leader, a speaker who happened to be in a wheelchair. So Roland contacted me out of the blue, just saying he liked my show and he wanted to meet me. We got to meet virtually. And we had, just like you, a connection spiritually where we talked for at least an hour or a little longer virtually. And he offered to be my tech wingman on my programs, just like he offered to help you. And it was a 4-year relationship online. Our family, my husband and I, got to meet him personally in California on 3 different occasions. And he was just as vibrant and positive and fun as he was through the computer. It's just that it was so fun to actually meet him. And it felt like I'd known him forever. When you meet someone and you have a spiritual bond, it doesn't matter. Like right now, where we're talking through the screen, you're all feeling our energy, our love. And just like you can connect with anyone through online. It's a wonderful gift that we all have. So I'm just grateful that we can share Roland's spirit with you, because his ripple effect is living on not only through us, but many people whose lives he touched.
Yeah, you don't need that energy bond you spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more powerful than physical bond. I
Yes.
think that energy bond that we have with Roland and then many others have it was amazing. It was something Roland, I was not a spiritual person before, and Roland began to mentor me in spirituality and begin to mentor me. There's far more to life than what meets the eyes. And boy, my life since my stroke, debilitating, negative could be my response, but it wasn't. Stroke, like Roland, became the tools God chose to use. And it has opened my eyes. I am spiritually awakened. I see life in a whole different positive sense. So I'm
Wow.
very grateful.
Well, I think you bring up an important point about connecting spiritually. And I would love people just to be aware that there's energy with everyone we meet. And when you have the opportunity to meet someone who you connect with immediately, that's really a gift. It's a gift to have Aaron Avila here right now, communicating with all the different stroke survivors around the world. And he's giving everyone a platform to be able to express themselves. I'm going to share that our own, I don't go around talking about this all the time, but our younger son had a stroke 6 years ago. And so we're one of those families, even though I didn't have a stroke, but we're a family of a stroke survivor. And our son was only 25 at the time. He's 31 now. And his best friend had died of a drug overdose. And he was very, very depressed and stayed up all night, weight lifted too much. And we found out later he had a hole in his heart. And that caused the blood clot or whatever, that he was overdoing it because he was so grief stricken. So we as a family had to come to terms with how to help him, live again. And it was a challenge. And that was actually while I knew Roland. Roland was still around, and he helped us because he was just so supportive. And, he knew what we were going through as a family. And luckily now our son Andrew is doing well, but it took time to get to a healing state. And stroke can happen to anyone. And as you say, it's really coming down to what is our attitude about it, and how do we learn to have joy and choose our attitude. That's the most important thing. And also to recognize that we all are energy beings, and we can choose who we're with and our attitude. So
Yeah, I think it's so important. Everybody needs to realize out there. Please put in comments if you're enjoying this content, and subscribe to Stroke TV YouTube channel. But when you talk about the basics of life, you're talking about we are energy beings. I don't care if you don't believe you, or I don't care if you believe there's a God. It doesn't negate the fact we are all energy beings and we're all energy connected. The main thing that I think Roland made me realize is that stroke doesn't define me, or any bad thing in your life, any trauma in your life does not define who you are. How you respond does. And you can expand in joy when others are cringing and committing suicide or contemplating suicide. You can actually choose to expand in joy. So I know if Rome was here, he'll say, expand in joy.
Right.
Don't choose to be negative. Don't choose to be dark. Choose to expand in joy. And I'll be darned. I chose to expand in joy, and I know you did too, Lynn.
Yes. I want to give another plug for his book. I don't know. We can put this in the description to Amazon. I did not spend as much time as I could have, just because I had limited time to market the book, but it's really worthy of anyone to read it, whether you've had a stroke or a family member's had a stroke. It's just a well-written memoir. And to me, it's amazing that he wrote this with one hand typing, on his computer. And also his wife, Barbara, shares her insights of how to treat people in the hospital. She would bring sweets, and different treats for the nursing staff to help them take better care of her husband. And she was always there for him. So we all can be aware of what we can do for loved ones that will make a difference. And so I recommend getting this. There's a link that we'll share in the chat. And even if you want to buy it for a friend, you can learn a lot about having a positive attitude in the midst of challenges. And we're all facing with different challenges right now. But check out Roland's story on Amazon, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
But yeah, I want to encourage you, people, if you hear this, go to Amazon. We'll put a link in the description. Buy the book. You're not stroke survivor, it'll still inspire you. It'll still make you realize I could choose to expend joy. I choose my destiny. I choose my future. I'm not obligated to respond negatively to hard times of my life. So, as we move on, definitely go to Amazon, look at Roland's book, and be inspired. Lynn, we're gonna leave though, but I think we're pretty much there. I want to thank you so much for being here, and I want to say, Roland, I'll see you when we get up there. But I'll miss you, bro.
Yes, Roland, we'll all see each other when it's the time. In the meanwhile, we all appreciate having your spirit here with us and sending out your loving energy to everyone who's listening. Thank you.
Well, expand and joy, Lynn.
Thank you. You too, Aaron, and to everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Set me on